is now 6 o'clock in Hampton County, and I'll call this February 26th, 2024, 6 p.m. meeting to order. Moving down to item 2, invocation, pledge of allegiance. 2.1, invocation, ask if Councilman Jenks will lead us in the invocation. 2.2, pledge of allegiance, ask if Vice Chairman Williams will lead us in the pledge. Please stand.
Bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we humbly come to you once again. We ask you to give us your blessings over this county as we are trying to guide this county in the right direction, pull it back together, do the right thing for the citizens of this county. We want you to reach out and touch all our sick, shut-in. We ask you to especially touch everyone on this council, to give us the wisdom to agree to disagree. Also the wisdom to figure out how to get this county back on track. We ask you to reach out and touch our employees, give them the strength to understand that we're trying to put it together for them. If they give us some time through you, that shall happen. We ask all these blessings in your son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Could you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Moving down to item 3, approval of agenda. 3.1, Hampton County Council, February 26th, 2024 meeting agenda. Do we have a motion or any comments? And if there are none, do we have a motion to approve?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. All opposed, likewise. Ayes have it unanimously. Moving down to item 4, public hearings. 4.1, CDBG and home notice of public hearing concerning needs assessment. I will now open the public hearing and ask if Ms. Brenna Hancock will join us and give us a presentation on it. And before you start, I want to make a comment that Ms. Barbara Johnson, I'm sure, was supposed to come in your place, but she has passed away since I've been on council for 3 years, a short time, but every year she has come and done this presentation, so I'm sorry to hear that she is gone. But wanted to give her her due. So I'll give
Thank you. Thank you for that. Ms. Barbara Johnson worked for the Low Country Council of Governments for 26 years, and she was a great asset to Hampton County and the surrounding counties, and she will greatly be missed. Thank you for
If I may ask, can we give her a couple of seconds of silence, please? Thank you.
And Chairman, Council, thank y'all for having me tonight. My name is Brenna Hancock. I'm with the Low Country Council of Governments. We are here tonight to do an annual Community Development Block Grant Program Needs Assessment Review. We do this every year. We do this for the county and for all the municipalities within the county. This public hearing here is for the dates beginning April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025. I'll be going over some things that are possible with this funding source and find out what type of projects you may be interested in for this funding period. Fair housing is something that applies to all federal grants. This is part of the Civil Rights Act of 1968. It states we cannot discriminate based on race, age, religion, color, disability, sex, or family status. And this applies to in the sale or rental of housing, in residential real estate transactions, and in the provision of brokerage services. If you believe that you've been a victim of a housing discrimination, you can contact the Low Country Council at Governments. The CDBG program is designed to help localities in improving economic opportunities and community revitalization, especially in low-income areas. In Hampton County, low to moderate income would be described as one person making less than $34,850, and for a family of 4, that would be making less than $49,750. And these are the amounts that we're looking for when I talk about low income. The CDBG program is developed by HUD and governed by HUD and all federal regulations. The annual allocation for South Carolina for this year is approximately $19.8 million. The action plan is available. Comments have closed on that, but if you would like more information on that, you can give me a call at the COG. The categories that we serve are community development, business development, and regional planning. For our purpose, we concentrate on community development category. We have several different subcategories of community development. We have the Community Infrastructure Program, which is a spring application, and it covers projects that focus on things like water, sewer, drainage. These grants can be from $50,000 to $1 million. Under the Community Enrichment Program, this application is due in the fall, and it covers a wide range of public-owned projects in low-income areas, and this can be grants from $50,000 to $750,000. Under the Local Priorities Program, this is also a fall application. These grants can be from $50,000 to $500,000. This program covers your things like parks, trails, public health and safety, and this is also for low-income communities. We also have a Ready to Go program. This is mainly for infrastructure and community enrichment. All prep work must be done on these projects before you apply. These projects must be ready to go out for bid when we submit to Commerce. We can submit these applications at any time during the year, and these grants are between $50,000 and $500,000. All these programs benefit low to moderate income communities. They must help prevent or eliminate slum or blight, and they must either meet urgent community needs that pose a serious threat to health or welfare of the community. We also have other programs that include business development, regional planning, and state technical assistance and administration. Projects located in opportunity zones will receive an additional 10-point bonus for the scoring of their application. Any locality can apply for funding if they have no more than 2 open CDBG grants, and the open grants have not exceeded a 30-month grant period. This year, they've removed the Neighborhood Revitalization Program. A locality cannot have more than 1 ready-to-go project, and you cannot receive funding for the same general target area multiple times. We also have a program at the COG called the Beaufort County Low Country Regional Home Consortium. And that program is to support the rehab of housing and to increase affordable housing and also develop safe and affordable housing. If you know anyone that may be interested in the home program, you can give a call to the COG and just ask to speak to me, and we'll get you an application. I have last year's needs assessment plan. I identifies some projects that you discussed last year, and that would be on page 7. If you would please go through that list. If you'd please go through that list and let me know what you'd like to add or change. We can open the floor for council comments or public comments, or you can rank those projects tonight, or you can rank them at your next meeting. I think y'all like to do that at a retreat possibly.
Yeah. And
And then get that back to me.
Did you send the list for us to return back to you?
No,
Can you?
yes.
Thank you.
Also, I have a sign-in sheet floating around here somewhere. I would like to ask everyone to please sign in. This is just for my information to prove that I did this presentation tonight, and I can keep that in my file.
I have one question. Yeah.
Sure.
On the infrastructure improvement grant, I have learned that a lot of these neighborhoods, when I guess it was each town put in sewage and water for starting the infrastructure system years ago. For instance, in Yemassee, I got houses on the left side of the street with sewage and water. Houses on the right side of the street with just water. What part of this grant that the county needs to assist Hampton Regional Water in getting to fulfill these people's, I mean, I got septic tank on one side of the street and city sewage on the other. I don't think that's fair. They deserve the same quality of sewage. What part of that grant should we be concerned about to help Hampton Regional Water get that done?
Right. I think I saw that listed in your priority list. If you would, when you have your retreat and discuss it, would you write down the specific streets and neighborhoods?
Okay. Buy a new legend.
Any other questions from council?
I have one question,
Sure.
Mr. Chairman. On the performance threshold, currently, how many open CDBG grants we have now in the county?
I can't answer that. It is more than 2. These are projects that have just been passed off to me, and I know there are 1 or 2 very close to close out, but I will research that information and get it to your chairman.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll now open it to the public. Yep.
You mentioned those healthcare grants. Do these grants have to be applied for through a governmental structure, or can the hospital apply for grants through COG?
Not under the CDBG program. That would be through your county or municipality, and it would also be based on the income level of that area.
Any other questions from the public? Ms. Linda?
I'm not sure that this is the right question, but based on the need that we have for our ambulance service, transport existing patients from the hospital to other healthcare providers, is that something that CDBG could be utilized for?
It's possible, and that would be based on where the ambulance would be housed. And again, that would determine the income level of wherever it's housed will be counted towards this specific program.
By housed, you mean what municipality is held in?
Yes, so you've received a fire truck grant under this program, and one of those is housed in Yemassee and the other in Furman. Is it Furman?
Sure. Nixville.
Burma.
And it was based on the income levels of those areas.
If we wanted to look for another ambulance to help out,
Yes, that's a possibility.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll now close that public hearing. Thank you. Moving down to item 5, public comments. And as a reminder, public comments, you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Council. First person up for comment is Republican Bill Hager.
Thank you, Chairman, Council. I've got a couple of issues I want to discuss with you tonight. I should have gotten on the agenda maybe for some of this, but I've been traveling this week, so I didn't get a chance to get on the agenda so we could discuss it, but I'll make comments in public comments. I wanted you to know how seriously I'm taking the situation here in Hampton County. This very moment, my wife is at Dr. Cease's office having to put down one of our beloved dogs. I should have been there with her instead, but I'm here to discuss issues for our county instead. That's how important I think this is. We all know that the financial position of Hampton County is a precarious one. Approximately 2 weeks ago, I sent in a request to the state for $225,000 to fund a much-needed forensic audit. If we get those funds, we should be able to do a pretty good audit. In the last several years, the net position of our county has dropped by more than $10 million. In the RFP request that I saw for the forensic audit, I could not help but notice that the suggested date range to be investigated was 2019 to 2023. Given that recent investigative developments, including 2 SLED investigations, going back several years prior to those dates regarding suspicious findings, I find it curious that the scope to be so limited. I also found it odd that the RFP limited the audit so that potentially only 4 departments are being investigated. This does not reflect the spirit of transparency and accountability under which this forensic audit has been voted on to take place. Furthermore, those limitations can be construed as a poisonous pill measure to ensure that the full truth of where those tax dollars were spent and by whom can never be determined, and that is not a condition I'll allow to pass unnoticed. Regarding some issues surrounding the legislative delegation, I'd like to clarify a few points. First of which being that while I'm not beleaguered, I have not beleaguered the point because it seemed petty. It apparently must be pointed out that I hold the position of delegation chair, not Senator Matthews. I hold a majority vote while hers only accounts for 34%, and I'm the only legislator who actually resides within the county. If you look at our letterhead, you'll even see that she is designated as vice chair in the header and has been since my predecessor took office. I only mention this now because the issue of staffing the delegation, a matter that was already discussed and resolved last year, has come up again for reasons I can only guess. Ms. Joanne Lamprich has long served as administrative assistant for both the Economic Development Commission and the Chamber of Commerce. At my request, when I was elected, she took on additional duties as the in-office person fielding phone calls and mail on behalf of the delegation. Responsibility she took on without additional pay. However, I've also used another person to staff who was brought on board with me because her skill set is one that we desperately needed and did not yet have. She masterfully put together complex funding proposal packages, research laws, statutes and ordinances, deep dives into bill and amendments up for vote, keeps me up to date on any and all local issues by attending events and meetings consistently on my behalf, especially when I'm in session in Columbia. She contacts government liaisons at state agencies for references or assistance, drafts a good majority of the correspondence that comes from the legislative office, responds to constituent concerns and calls received even late into the night, and then uses their own money, time, network, and experience lobbying in Columbia for funding programs here in Hampton County. And the clincher, we have this person, her name is Maggie Knox, working for free, because both she and I are painfully aware of the financial situation the county is in. We're saving you $40,000 to $50,000 by not having that staff position before even factoring in benefits. And unfortunately, Senator Matthews seems to want to hire another staffer we clearly do not need and cannot afford. Allow me to be clear. I'm the resident legislator and control the majority vote in the delegation. Senator Matthews is vice chair. My predecessor was chair, thus making me the de facto chair. And I do not appreciate bullying or subversive political nonsense getting in the way of the progress we're making trying to right this county ship. Thank all of you for your service to Hampton County. Thank you.
Perfect timing. Thank you. And I'll make a note, the first ring is your 1 minute warning. Second ring is your 5 minutes. You did good. Yep.
Next comment, Ms. Peggy Grill.
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm here to give you information on an event that is going to happen March the 8th. And that March the 8th is significant because it is International Women's Day across the globe. And did I know about this? No, I did not. But Sharon Shealy, Dr. Shealy's wife, Pearls, is sponsoring this, by the way. And we had a meeting, and when I said something about March 8th is International Women's Day, she goes, oh, we need to do this. When Neil and I were on a mission, the women, where we were, the women got all dressed up and started marching. And then I did some research, and it's a big deal in Europe, and it's becoming more involved in the United States. It's not political. It is just a day of fun, an afternoon. We're going to meet at Varnville Town Hall, and they graciously going to help us out. And we're just going to have a little music, a little gathering of women, and men can come too if they want to. And then we're going to probably walk down to the gazebo, and that's it. We want people to say, where are these women going and why? And then next year, we might increase it. Now, just to bring you up a little information on Pearls. Pearls began in 2007, and it is, their mission is to, our mission is to connect women who care with causes that matter. And it's only for Hampton County, by the way. The purpose is to strengthen Hampton County through collective giving. A fund empowering women to make a difference. There were 22 founding sisters in 2007. I was one. And it was a vision of Peggy Parker's to organize women that we would be able to give grants, which we have. The first few years we tried to build up the endowment, and we're covered under the foundation, Low Country, Community Foundation of the Low Country. And with their organizational skills, we have grown, and in the past years we have accumulated and given over $130,000 worth of grants. They have to go through a grant testing program through the foundation. They look at all of the qualifications, what they're applying for, and then we give out the grants. So we invite you, and I would like to say also that we have 2 Pearls members on the county council. We only have one woman, Camille, but Dr. Hollingsworth and Mrs. Hollingsworth are both members of Pearls. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you can come walk with us.
What time is the event, Peggy?
Oh, we're going to gather at 5. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're going to gather at 5 and then enjoy some music and fellowship.
Okay.
And we may have 50, we may have 5, we may have 150. I don't know. But you're going to see these flyers around town and at churches, we hope. And it's just something that we'd like to start on a yearly basis. And I think it'll be fun. If you're interested, look up International Women's Day, and you'll be surprised at what all you see. And I appreciate your time. and I would like to approach and give you a flyer,
Sure.
if I may.
If you give it to Felicia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, ask Camille and not Paul.
Thank you.
Next public comment we have from Zane Osborne.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's been a while since I've gotten to talk to you guys. Again, thank you again for all the hard work you're doing. And let's not undo some of the hard work you've done. So first thing I want to talk about was the audit. Basically, Representative Hager nailed everything I wanted to say. It's concerning that since we've lost $10 million since about 2015 in net worth in the county, that we're not going back to that date for the audit. Concerning also is limiting the scope of it, because we don't know where this will take us. And a good investigation, like at my job when I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with you, I don't just limit it to a couple of things. You have to keep an open mind and dig down deep and go where the data shows you. So I would fervently ask you to rethink the RFP. The second thing is budget. I guess my question is there a plan for regular updates to the people of the county on the budget? Are you planning to like give monthly updates, things like that? So I would request that council consider that and report monthly. I know that I look at my budget weekly and then look at how I'm compared to what I'm thinking I'm spending and what I think I've got. And I'm not in anywhere near the precarious situation that the county is. I think that it would be useful for all of us, and most importantly for all of you, to get a report every month that tells you how we're compared to the budget and variances versus the previous month, so that we can see where money has been spent that maybe was not the wisest allocation before it's too late. And that's pretty much it. Again, thank you for all your help, and I hope to work with you maybe on one of these COG grants to see about the ambulance issue. I think that might be a decent avenue for us to get some money.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Thank you.
Next public comment, Barbara, is that Gary?
Great.
Gray?
Barbara Gray.
I think all of you know who I am by now. I come before this council tonight because of the new information that has come out publicly this week that is very concerning to everybody in this Hampton County. We already know of the missing CPST funds and the money missing from the fire department fund. Now we know of equipment and or money missing from the sheriff's department. Where else is there money missing? We need to find out. I'm calling on this council to work expediently to have a forensic audit done on all of the Hampton County departments, starting, if possible, as early as 2015, when that previous administrator came into office. I know that's not possible, but it'll go back as far as they possibly can. I know of at least 2 council members who are fighting against a forensic audit being done. I want to know why. I know it is going to be costly to have one done, but how can we not have one done? With all that is coming out and what we as the public know, and what do we not know that others, there's more. It seems to me that we have to have this done to find out what happened to all this money that's gone missing. And also to make sure it does not happen again. It is going to take years for our county to come out of this. From one council member, all you hear is, quote, we need to raise taxes, unquote. The people of this county cannot afford to have their taxes go any higher. When the airport was redone over 5 years ago, it was for the reason that I was told by the council at that time, was so they could bring in more business to Hampton County. I haven't seen it yet, and it's been over 5 years. Please get this forensic audit done as soon as possible. And until y'all do, the people of this county are not going to trust any of you. Any of you. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you. Moving down to item 6, approval of minutes. 6.1, December 4th, 2023, Hampton County Council special meeting minutes. What's the pleasure of council on that?
Chair, I make a motion that we approve 6.1 special meeting minutes.
Got a motion and a second to approve the December 4th, 2023 Hampton County Council special meeting minutes. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. All opposed, likewise. Ayes have it. Moving down to 6.2, February 5th, 2024 Hampton County Council meeting minutes. Do we have a motion for that?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a comment on these minutes. When I gave a council briefing on that particular date, I read off of a sheet that's talked about the Hampton County county flag and the gallery pictures and the National Association of Counties activity book introducing students to county government, and I requested that that information be attached to this to the minutes so that there won't be any misunderstanding as to what I have reported on.
Sure.
And I would like for that to be included.
Sure. And there's a few scrivener's errors, public comments under Larry Huffman, a letter to SCOD. It should be SCDOT. Under Bill Fennell, it should be Ben Fennell. And it should be instead of Marine Crop Corp, C-O-R-P. Under appointments, Planning Commission, Angela Gooding. We just need a vote count for that. And note that I abstained from that. And that'll be it. So I'll make a motion that we defer these minutes until we can get them back
Second.
with all the necessary corrections. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to defer the February 5th meeting minutes with the necessary corrections for the next meeting. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. And all opposed, likewise. Ayes have it. Moving down to February 16th, 2024 Hampton County Council special meeting minutes. Any comments, discussion, and if none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the February 16th, 2024 Hampton County Council special meeting minutes.
We have a motion and a second to approve the February 16th, 2024 Hampton County Council special meeting minutes. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. All opposed, likewise. Ayes have it. Moving down to item 7, presentations. There are no presentations. Item 8, appointments. There are no appointments. Item 9, resolutions, proclamations. There are no resolutions and/or proclamations. Item 10, ordinances. 10.1, third reading of ordinances. There are no third readings. 10.2, second reading of ordinances. 10.2.1, an ordinance to amend the land development ordinance to add the use variance. Do we have any discussion? And do we have any questions for Chris and Glacy? No questions? Then do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept we approve the second reading of the ordinance 10.2.1, an ordinance to amend the land development ordinance to add the use variance.
Second. We have a motion and we have a second to approve second reading 10.2.1. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. All opposed, likewise. Ayes have it. Moving down to item 10.3, first reading of ordinances. There are no first readings. Item 11, bids. There are no bids. Item 12, council briefings. 12.1, chairman's update. I have a statement that I'll be making, and then I'll have it added to the record as well. At the last regular meeting, there was a discussion regarding the purchase of a trash compactor for the Hampton County landfill, and we wanted to clarify what happened and what resulted in the county purchasing the compactor. The council did vote at its December 5th meeting to purchase the new compactor based on information that was presented to council for consideration. The vote was 4-1 based on the approval of the council. The purchase action was taken by staff to make that happen. The company who sold us the compactor was notified, and the county began receiving the equipment and has begun using it. There is no intent to indicate that the purchase was not approved, only that the process needed to be clear, more clear. So I'll submit that to the record. And that is all I have as far as an update. And moving down to item 12.2, county council member liaison updates and or reports.
Mr. Chairman, I have one report. I met with the sheriff and his law enforcement committee concerning vehicles, the purchase of vehicles for the county, and I see that the sheriff is here, so I don't want to mess up my liaison, so if the sheriff would take a minute or two to share with council what the meeting, if you don't mind.
I want to apologize. The sheriff was on the agenda.
Right.
For some
I'll
reason
apologize
he's
as
not.
well.
Sorry,
You
Sheriff.
were on the agenda. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry.
Well, then the sheriff could take my time.
Sure.
I'm only going to take about 4 hours.
Well, never mind. We'll see you next meeting then.
We need to get pizza then. It's going to be 4 hours.
No, that's-
Do you have any copies of your presentation on hand by chance? And if you do, can you give it to Miss Felicia to hand to us?
If you all don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and get started while he's passing it
Thank
out.
you.
But good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
To the chairman and council and county administrator, I certainly thank y'all for giving me an opportunity to stand before you. I'm going to talk about my annual briefing on behalf of the sheriff's office and our accomplishment that we have accomplished in a year's time. Wilson, you got it up? PowerPoint presentation.
Mine's not working at all. Mine's not working at all.
bear with us, please. It's not on there. I can, I'll go ahead and get started. I don't want to hold y'all up. But once again, good afternoon. I just want to give you all a briefing over the year that I've been in office, and I just want to remind you all of my mission statement. Hampton County Sheriff's Office is committed and dedicated to enhancing safety for all citizens in Hampton County. We are transparent with the community while improving our service with integrity and professionalism. We strive to uphold the highest law enforcement standards and ensure the safety and well-being of all the individuals within our jurisdiction. We believe that through proactive engagement and collaboration, we can build a better and a stronger community. I want to talk about our stats for Hampton County Sheriff's Office. In year 2022, we had 4 homicides. 2023, we had 3. 2022 with kidnapping, we had 5. 2023, we had 0. Sexual assault cases for 2022, we had a total of 20. For 2023, we had a total of 5. Aggravated assaults in 2022, we had 74. And these are your drive-by shootings. The people were calling in, I'm sure y'all got some phone calls too. And 2023, we were able to bring that number down to 43. Simple assaults for 2022, we had a total of 72. In 2023, we had a total of 57. Our burglaries for 2022, we had 49. For 2023, we had 46. Robberies in 2022, it was recorded that we had 3. In 2023, we had 7. Vandalism in 2022, we had 65. 2023, we had 71. Motor vehicle theft, 2022, we had 26. 2023, we had 28. Our larceny and felonies, in 2022, we had a total of 68. And 2023, we had a total of 32. Our larceny and misdemeanors, this is where we had individuals going out into people's yards and taking, their personal property, lawnmower, go-karts, four-wheelers, sometimes tractors, you name it. In 2022, we had 101 incidents. 2023, we had 88. 2022, drug violations, we had 26. 2023, we had 21. And with the 21, we have 4 that's not counted that went to the federal system and got indicted. Talk about the recovered property. And since coming in office, one thing I want to track is try to figure out how much property we were recovering for our victims in Hampton County. In 2022, they had $126,672. That's the value of people's property that was recovered. In 2023, I had $478,268 of recovered property. And this is not to include the $500,000 that we just recovered for the school district. We didn't even bother to put that in there because I didn't want the numbers to look like we were playing with them, but these are factual numbers. talk about some of the programs that we came up with the sheriff's office in the community. You know, with gun violence on the rise, and one thing I want to do is go around to these schools and educate these young kids on gun safety. And we have been putting on programs throughout this community. And with the help of Mr. Wise Batten down in Jasper County, he's a resident of Hampton County, he's allowed me to use his plantation to do that. And we reached a lot of kids. If you went on to the site there, you saw those kids. Some of those kids never been able to hunt before, didn't even know what a gun looked like, didn't even know the safety of a weapon. But I believe if we start early with these young kids, we can minimize some of the incidents that we're having in Hampton County. So that was definitely a plus. Our neighborhood watch programs, it's worked, and it has worked. We can't be everywhere in Hampton County. And you would not hear me say that up here, that we can just do complete coverage through the county. We have to get our communities back involved in law enforcement, where they can report these crimes, and if they see something, say something. And believe it or not, it works. Okay? I want to talk about our Explore cadets. We had some programs that we brought to the sheriff's office. We were able to have some of those kids get into an airplane and took a tour of this county. Some of these kids will never be able to see inside of a plane. That's just factual information. And I think that was a plus when we partnership with our pilots here in this county, and they partnership with their partners outside this county, and we're able to bring their planes here and let these kids do a tour and just take it for a plane ride. I wish you all could have seen that and seen the expression on those kids' face. We are out in the community and we are doing everything we can, because I believe if we can engage with these kids early on, we can change the direction that they're going in if they're going in a bad direction. We want to talk about our support from our community. We partnership. We did the first national night out that was ever done in Hampton County on behalf of the sheriff's office, and that certainly was a plus. This year, I plan to make it bigger and do things a lot better than we did last year. Last year was a trial run, even though it was a definite success on behalf of the county. We want to talk about our Faith in Blue. This was the first time that was ever done in Hampton County, and that was a positive relationship builder there that we did with the community, and we partnership with a lot of our partners throughout Hampton County, and that was a success also. And as I said earlier, when I talk about the schools, I touch every school in Hampton County. And that's to include our private schools. I do not leave them out because they need to hear from the sheriff's office. They need to see our presence there as well. They have kids, they parents, they pay taxes as well, so I do not overlook a school. When I tell you I go to every school in Hampton County, we service, we go there. Career day, we participate. When they have a problem, we go. When they need when they have issues and they want to hear from the sheriff's office, we have a seat at the table. So I just want y'all to know that's what we're doing on behalf of Hampton County Sheriff's Office. And there are several events that we did, and I can't keep a count of all of them, but one thing that we did this year that really touched a lot of kids, we did the toy drive back in December. And some of you all was there, and just to be able to see some of those kids come in there and just get a toy, y'all might not think is important, but some of those kids don't even have an opportunity to get Christmas like that. Y'all don't realize how many families we touched in this community. Give their child an opportunity to walk in there and they walk away with a Christmas gift. Something as simple as we go to Walmart and we see basketball, footballs. That's what those kids ask for. They're not asking for $500 and $600 games. They want things that they can entertain themselves with in their house. this coming year, I want to be able to do that bigger, because we had, I think, we had a total of maybe 400 and, I want to say 26, how much? Yeah, we had about a little over 400 kids that came through that program, and let me tell you one thing, every last one of them walk out of there with a gift. So that was definitely a success, and I thank you all for helping me to make that event successful. We partnership with some of our churches too. Since being the sheriff in this county, I partnership with all our pastors in this community, and I got with all our community leaders. And some of you may think, well, you know, why would you do that? Well, why would we not do that? Our pastors carry a large voice in this community. Sometimes their church congregation is bigger than what we see in any room that we got in Hampton County. And I went with them, and we partnership with them, and now we have 2 events, and you all been there twice a year. And now those church pastors, those pastors in our community, our church leaders, they are now going into our school system with us and engaging with those kids. And it works. Yesterday, I was at the Black History program, and I had a high school student, she's an 11th grader. She walked up to me, and she said, Sheriff, I just want to tell you thank you for what you're doing. I said, okay. I said, can you elaborate on what you're talking about? She said, with y'all coming around to the schools, she said, it's working. She said, the only thing we ask of you all not to do is just leave us at that school by ourselves. Don't ever come back. It works. And I encourage y'all, when we go back to the schools, and we are, listen, it don't take but maybe 30 minutes. Come by and just show those kids a little love. It works, y'all. Because at the end of the day, my goal is to make sure we don't have any incidents at that school, and that's what I'm striving for. This has nothing to do with politics. Let's leave that at the door. We got to go in those schools. We got to help those teachers as well. Those teachers are fighting hard for us, and we got to be able to show them some support. And that's my annual report. And I thank y'all for even allowing me to stand up here. But I have the captain here, and the reason why I'm going to let him do the vehicle, because he was assigned to that when he first got hired here, and he has been doing all the research. So if the numbers are wrong, then I can get on him about it. But thank y'all.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just a quick overview of what our fleet looks like right now, and I think that's what you all are more interested in when we talk with the councilman about it. Our fleet is at 71. When we look at the fleet, we have 71 vehicles. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but since I've been dwelling on it, what I found out is we don't throw anything away. So a lot of them are sitting over behind the maintenance shop. Out of that 71, we have 31 that's actually serviceable. And a lot of those are driving on 200, 300, 400,000 miles. We're in communication with the county administrator, and we're looking at what we have and presenting with him what all we do have now. I think he did talk with the rep that we had been talking with from Enterprise on the cost that it may cost for vehicles. So that's where we are right now. We're at about 31 vehicles. Some of those are from 2001 all the way up to 2022. And the 2022 are SRO vehicles that were bought with grant money. And the rest of them fall somewhere between, I should say the biggest average is between 2010 and 2018. I think we're running about 20-something vehicle in that range. So right now, we're just trying to hold it together with the mileage. Our shop has done a fantastic job with keeping them up and running. But right now, we're finding ourselves in harm's way. I think the sheriff sent a letter just just to let you know what our status was, not trying to report anything, but we had officers respond to a shooting. When they got there, they found themselves in the line of fire in harm's way. They tried to get in their vehicle and leave. One was able to, the other one was not. He wasn't able to get out of harm's way. It's just by the grace of God, he didn't get hurt. And we were able to get in there and get some help done. The vehicle just failed. When we got it to the maintenance shop, maintenance said the engine was blown. And we're seeing that quite regular now. Either the engine is going out or the transmission is going out. So right now, we really at a crucial state as it comes to responding to calls. We just don't have the vehicles anymore. We talked about selling some of our surplus or some of those vehicles we have. We did sell 2, and then we stopped because we realized some of those vehicles we had on the list we may have to put back on the streets. I mean, they're not as good, but at least they get us around right now, and they're requiring a lot of maintenance. So we think that we're going to need some vehicles. It's a crucial issue now. We need some right away. I'm subject to your questions.
Not a question, but a comment. In December, January time, we had a conversation similar to this of our outdated cars, vehicles, compactors. All of our things in Hampton County seem to be 20 plus years old or out of service. So what I need, and I hope council agrees, is we need a plan on how we can keep up with all of the things that we have to replace. We know cars don't last forever. We know all of our materials and things that we use don't last forever. We need to get a plan in place that we can put aside money and put it away. If we get insurance money, put it away, we have to replace it. If we have surplus, or whatever the case may be, however we can do it, we need to have an account set aside to be able to pay for things like this. One. So that's generalized. For you specifically, you all are talking about enterprise leasing vehicles, I'm sure. Please present that to me, to council. Have a plan, have a presentation, what it costs, how many you want to have, and let's see where it goes. I'm in full support. My father, as you all know, is a chief of police, is a police officer, has been his whole life. I have many people who serve in this realm, and I 100% agree that there should not be an instance where somebody needs to get out of harm's way and they can't do it because our vehicles are subpar. I don't agree with that, and I would not stand for that. So at the next meeting, please have us a presentation to have an account set up to replace vehicles and such, and to have a presentation for them and their vehicles. That's all I say about that, and I'll turn it over.
Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate your response to them. And it's my understanding that at the meeting that I had with the sheriff and his captain, that they were going to get with the county administrator and come together as to how they're going to resolve this issue. So they are working with it.
Can I provide an update?
Sure.
So I appreciate you guys sharing your point of contact. Just a brief update. I actually met with the enterprise rep last week. He's going to have a proposal to me the end of this week. But we're looking at all the vehicles for the county. You guys are up first. What they're going to do is a fleet assessment, and that rolls into a fleet management plan with a matching budget that we can think about. But I also reached out to another fleet assessment crew to see if they can come in and do some stuff. But Enterprise said they can do it for free, so that's good, right? But I should have something over for you guys by the end of next week with some options to get some working cars in the county. But I appreciate you working with me.
Any other comments from any of council?
I have a question, and I may be remembering this incorrectly. The cars that are the old cars that are there beside the animal shelter. I think at one time we had talked about possibly there might be some way that we could get some sort of money, scrap, whatever from them. I know that some of them are maybe possibly still involved in cases, but I didn't know if where we were on that. I mean, in my mind, money's money. if it's, you
You're
know,
talking about the ones that's in the impound lot?
right, all right.
Yeah, we doing a title search on that, and we found out that a lot of those vehicles out there are still with some cases
Okay,
that's pending.
okay.
But I assure you, no sooner we get the green light to move on that, I would love to clean that place up,
Okay,
because it just looks awful out there.
okay.
But on another note, I received a letter from our state grant holders. We had an SRO that the vehicle was purchased on grant funding money. And while on her way to work one morning, someone turned in front of her and T-boned that vehicle and total lost that vehicle. And that vehicle had less than 300 miles on it. Now the grant, they are writing me a letter asking me, well, Sheriff, where's the money for this vehicle? They want that vehicle replaced. So at some point, we're gonna have to try to figure out what happened to that insurance money that was granted to the county. Where did it go? Because right now, we stand the chance of possibly losing, trying to get more vehicles if we apply for another grant. And I can be more than happy to forward that email to you. They wanna know where's the money for this vehicle because it was purchased from the USDA grant for the SROs at that particular school.
Okay.
And it's been going on over a year now.
I was gonna ask when was that accident?
I want to say it was November of 2022. Yeah, right before I came in office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we know how much the insurance settlement was?
I think the insurance settlement was $36,000, but the thing was the vehicle was valued at $56,000. And another thing we got to we need to look at too, when that vehicle is wrecked, we losing equipment. You know, that's the push guard on there, that's about $2,600. The striping, that's about $2,400. And any damaged equipment inside that vehicle, we don't get compensated for it. Taxpayers gonna have to buy that.
Could we find out who signed off on the settlement?
So if you all can, just looking at and just.
I have
Yes, sir.
another comment. Signed off, I want to know who signed off on the settlement, but I also want to know who is in charge of receiving insurance monies. When they receive the insurance money, where does it go? We had a discussion about that previously, and we said we were going to set up an account separate. Is that happening? We have to keep up to date on what's been happening. Where are we at with that?
Yes,
Councilman Jenks?
that being said, I just left the Association of Counties class. One of my classes was finance management. The instructor is the comptroller for Bamberg County now. After class, I had a chit-chat with her, and I asked her one specific question. What is her take on the county having 80% of all funds going to general funds? Her answer was, if you had a team of accountants keeping up with dollar to dollar where this money goes, Greenville, New York City, that would be fine. She highly recommends small town counties like us to have individual accounts no matter how long it takes to reconcile each account. I asked this question when I first came aboard. Why everything goes to general funds? It gets lost in the shuffle because you have to still do reconciliation and it's not being done. As council, I would like it to be in our discussion to set policy that we will have individual accounts so it can be shown to us individually where every dollar comes in and where it goes.
You would think. Anything else?
No, thank you all.
I think
And certainly appreciate
we've
it.
gotten a
We'll
lot
make
of
sure we have
conversation,
that. Yes.
and I hope we'll have a lot coming up
Yes, sir.
at the next meeting.
Yes, sir.
I will say, I'm not taking any comments from the public. Come see us after the meeting or see the sheriff, and we'll talk then, okay? Sure. Right. That's not just for the sheriff's department. It's for every piece of equipment, vehicle. Right. you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Any more updates from County Council?
We are there are 3 footbridges at the Varnville Nature Trail. One of them is in very bad disrepair. And Paula Rhodes and I have been discussing with Steve Crosby, who is over the construction class at the high school. And David Steinmeier is going to see about having the bridge that is in bad disrepair moved to the school so that Steve's construction class can repair it for us. It's not costing the county anything. We've been able to secure money through grants to have that bridge repaired, that sort of thing. But the construction class is going to be doing a lot of the work for us just because we felt like it was good to have them involved in the nature trail. And it's free. They'll do the work for us, and it's free. So that's where we are on that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
As I said, I just came back from Associated Counties classes. The last day was legislative day. I think the representative section of legislation was on, I can't think of the word. Anyway, they weren't there. They were out. The Senate, we had a chance, LeVar and I had a chance to sit in the Senate in session. Hampton County was recognized, called us out by Ms. Matthews, Mr. Hutto. There is some things on the horizon. We did not have a chance to sit down with her. We waited on her about 45 minutes, but she was speaking on the floor. So Mr. Hutto was with her there. We didn't sit down and talk to anyone, but she's showing us that there's some things on the horizon. Hampton County is high priority on their list.
Thank you. Anything else?
Thanking everybody for coming out, all the citizens. You know, we committee, county council, we sit at this table and we make some serious decisions on behalf of the citizens of the county. And I want to recognize the sheriff for doing a great job in this county, getting this county, instead of walking horizontally, you got the county is walking vertically, pulling one another up. I want to recognize you for that. And all our schools in the county have done good throughout these last couple of years. We want to recognize all the individuals and accomplishments that the young men and young ladies have been making in this county. And just like I always say, if we continue to walk with this love stick toward one another, we can make things happen. But when we go to tear one another down, we can't make nothing happen. So let's continue to walk with that love stick, love one another, and come with something good to the table for the good of the order for our youth in this county. You know, it's not about us no more. It's about these kids. And we setting a path for them to stay, work here, live here, and that's all I have.
Well said. Thank you. All right. Moving down now to County Attorney's update.
Mr. Chairman, Council, I've sent a report out earlier. Everybody got it. If not, let me know. I'll submit it.
Thank you. Moving down to 12.4, Clerk's update. I would like to recognize first Ms. Felicia Knopf. Did I say that right, I believe? She has been acting as our interim clerk to council for the last month, let's say, 2 weeks to a month. And so we appreciate your work that you've been doing. It has not gone unnoticed. And I would like to introduce our new appointed clerk to council, Ms. Lori Mixon. This is her first full week, starting her first full week. We're glad to have you, and we look forward to working together for years to come. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I ask one question?
Sure.
We've discussed the speaker system never said anything about the TV system. I noticed that everybody's out there looking down. Can we find out what it costs to raise those TVs up and set these speakers in different positions so that is everything's clear? Not fussing, but they deserve to hear and see without a fight.
10-4. All right. Moving down now to 12.5, animal control update.
Yes, Council, just wanted to give you an update. Again, Sheriff, could you stand up real quick? So, my first week here, I had a meeting with the sheriff and his team, and we met and talked about the need for an animal control officer. And so what you have before you is a business case, and what I've brought before you is an agreement between the sheriff and our animal shelter to really speak to the bones of bringing on someone that will be responsible for animal control and litter control. So we're excited to report that out to you. So the next steps are hiring somebody for that position, and I just want to say I really appreciate the sheriff for working with me to draft that out. But that really reflects how we move forward when I present concepts to you guys to get done. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
All right. That's all for that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Moving down to 12.6, forensic audit update.
So the forensic audit has been updated. Just a few notes. Before we posted that audit, we did make an edit. That forensic audit RFP was posted in 2023. So what I did, I pulled that down. I made a few edits to it. And I made an addendum to that date. So the dates that you see on that posting go from fiscal year 2016 to fiscal year 2021. So there was an addendum made to those dates. I heard some comments earlier, but those dates were in error, so the dates are correct in terms of capturing that window which you guys said tonight. I have before you also a few quotes. So what we did, we called a few vendors to see how much the audit costs. And looking at all the things that we've have done over the years, we have tons of audits. We just need to have somebody to come in here and really look at it from a sophisticated standpoint. So we got some price quotes ranging as low as $20,000 to $45,000, and that's Walden and Jenkins and a few other bodies. So I did see a few respondents come in today. So that forensic audit, we should hope to have some folks applying for that hopefully this week or next week, and I'll have a report out for you next on that.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I do have one question. That ending date of 2021, would it be possible to do an addendum? Because just off the top of my head, I know in 2022, a building was paid for in the amount of $50,000 that we did not even own. The mortgage was paid off. It was the end of 2022. Would it be possible that we could extend that to 2022? Because that's just one thing off the top of my head that I know was done in 2022.
We could, the more years, the more expensive it is.
Right.
We looked at a 5-year span.
Right.
So we can definitely look at
Okay.
adding another year.
Because like I said, just off the top of my head, I know that occurred at the end of 2022.
Okay.
And we need to have that looked at as well.
With that being said, if we're going to do a complete forensic audit, let's do it for 2023 also.
Okay.
Let's not,
Sure.
let's do it for 2023.
Let's do it.
And
Whatever
if we're
president
going,
Just keep in mind that
how
that
far can you
scope,
go back?
Sure,
that scope increase, that price goes up.
sure,
The theory was a 5-year window, but I can check to see
sure.
about making those changes as well.
Sure.
Like I said, I think it will be money well spent.
Thank you. Please, public, we're so glad to have you. But please don't talk out. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Moving down to item 13, reports to council. 13.1, administrators report. 13.1.1, discussion of communication, public information. 13.1.2, discussion on Motorola update. 13.1.3, financial report.
communication and public information. It's a big piece for us. There's a lot of things being said about the county. So what we're doing, we're vetting the communication policy, how we report things in social media. There should be one voice and one voice only as it relates to updates coming from the county. So what I have before you is our current communications and social media policy. And I've made some recommendations to the right, but I just kind of wanted to share you the direction we're going in terms of updating how we communicate to the public, what we share with the public, and making sure we have accurate information that reflects what the county is doing and being above board. But I did wanted to make that known today and see if you had any objection to that. So I shared with you the proposed language that would be inside that policy, which would be more robust and a lot more comprehensive. And I hope to get your feedback on that.
Sure. I'll say that if we can review it and then maybe put it on the agenda for next and make something happen with it.
And also we just want to make sure folks are reporting the right things in the media. There's a lot going on. There's liabilities if we're not speaking and saying the right thing in regards to what the county is sharing with the public. That opens us up for liabilities of being sued and many other things. So we just want to be conscious of how we speak to media outlets, social media, newspaper, and all those things. So,
Sure. Okay.
The Motorola. You know, we owe Motorola quite a bit, so we sat with the Motorola folks about 2 weeks ago. We had a discussion with them, and in a nutshell, if we don't come to a conclusion of how we're going to pay Motorola, they're going to seek legal action. So what we've done, we've engaged a legal firm that specializes in debt management. That firm is not only going to look at the Motorola debt, they're going to look at the entire county debt to see how we can roll that into one payment comprehensively and address our debt situation. But specific to the Motorola situation, I just need to let you guys know that they are looking for a response to say that we are trying to work on it and get this done. I should have something back for the attorneys at the end of this week, and I can email a few proposals over to you of how we can address that Motorola debt.
Okay. If we can have that on the next agenda as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, let me say 100%, that we as the county want to make sure we pay all of our vendors.
I think that's what they want to hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Motorola, if you are listening, we plan on paying you. I promise you, we plan on paying you. May not be today, but we plan on paying you, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Financial report?
Okay, yeah. So just some updates on information. The fiscal 23 year audit is underway, and we're geared towards finishing that in March and having the report issued. So the objective is to meet that. We don't have any issues that are outstanding at this point in time. CPST audit is underway by the Department of Revenue. We do not have a end date yet. We have received information and requests for information, so it is an ongoing process. When it is complete, the administrator will receive a communication from the Department of Revenue as to what they find and what our particular course of action will be in the event that there is a finding that is of concern. You have also before you, you have a list of the current outstanding payables that are due. Just a concern, the amount of payables are large. And at this stage of the game, it is a concern since we're at the end stage of completion of taxation. But county business is happening. I know the administrator has taken efforts to curb purchases, but the system is operating and bills are generated, and we're trying to clean up those to get those into play, but we still have a large amount of bills and outstanding invoices. As soon as the treasurer released the funds to us to pay, we make payments out of our accounts payable department. Going forward, there is a concern that I have at this stage of the game. Some time ago, last year, money was borrowed from the ARPA fund. I have a real concern at this moment with the ability to be able to meet the timely payment by the end of June. I will be advising council on that, but at this point in time, with the amount of payables and the cash flow, just a concern, and we will bring you up to date. Also pulling for the administrator, as he's pulling a team together on that, we are looking at buyout on our leases and putting things together as to way to extend the amount of the loans over a little bit longer period of time. Buying out the leases and securing a loan. Hopefully, council, the attorney will recommend that and as goes well. We are also at this stage in consultation with the treasurer, the TAN for the fiscal year. We've talked with her about scheduling payment. She has money set aside, and it's $2.5 million that we will be paying this month into March. The payment is not due until April 10th, but she and I have discussed paying it timely, so we will be looking at doing that soon. Also, working with the administrator, budget calendar for you. We hope to have that ironed out for you for your next meeting.
One more point in regards to the forensic audit, probably the most important point, is that I'm requesting that council consider forming a committee of citizens who can support the review of the audit process end to end. One of my goals is that I want to make sure everything we do is transparent, above board, by selecting members of the community to support me throughout the audit process, the forensic audit process, to demonstrate that we're more than attempting to be transparent with the community to get this thing done. So I would request that you guys select a five-member committee, and so I can work with to push that concept forward. So in a nutshell, they will be responsible for reviews of periodic status reports with the firm, as well as annual audits and keeping apprised of the process of the forensic audit. I think it's a good way to build a relationship and demonstrate to the community that we're here to serve them and that we want to make things right by this forensic audit. So,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add something also to the finance report. I'm still concerned, and I'm not going to let it go until somebody give me a clear understanding as to our finance recovery capital plan. And I know I have a draft ordinance on 2022 that council signed as part of the budget. $450,000 will go into this financial recovery capital plan. That was the second year. The first year was 2021. So in other words, there should be $900,000 in the finance capital plan. And then that's not counting this fiscal year. So you have, if you add $450,000 to that, you know, we should have a considerable amount of money. Nobody knows either anything about the plan. Nobody knows if any was put in there. I mean, I'm not selling for that.
Well, we know there was money put in it because it was added to people's tax bill.
Okay, so if money was put in there,
mills. So
if money was put in there,
right.
In order for it to come out, council had to authorize it by the majority. I don't recall at all any money being withdrawn out of that account. And I want to know if any money was withdrawn out of the account, who withdrew it?
Who authorized
it? And who authorized it, yes.
So we need to get in contact with the treasurer.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to know.
And once
The
again,
treasurer collects revenue, so she should have an answer for that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let that rest.
Once again, that's the general fund's problem.
Right.
Everything goes to one account and not properly reconciled.
But that one there was a separate account.
It's supposed to.
Yeah, well, it's supposed that when we voted on that as part of the budget, it was supposed to be a separate account.
It was, I agree.
Yeah, it started with Ms. Lewis, that's right. That's right. And my understanding in talking with her, that before she left, the money was there.
So it's a clear step forward.
Yes.
We need to see.
Yeah, I would like to know. Yes.
Where those funds are.
Exactly.
And how much is coming.
I'll get that report out to you next session.
Thank you. And one thing before we move on, regarding finance, I think a great point was made. I would enjoy to see monthly budgets of where we are and where we were projected to be, what our budget is, and where we're at with it. I think that's a great idea, and I would like to have that.
And not to create any more work on you, can you break it down a little bit more than you do? I mean, can you get more detail?
So last month, if you recall, there was a spreadsheet that was given to you that gave percentages and the like. Okay, so at the end of February, you'll get a second one in March that will give you year-to-date statuses on the budget by departments and in the line, are they at the correct level or are they running in the red? And you'll be able to get that, but we'll be able to get that to you.
Mr. Chair, can we also put in the minutes that I'm requesting for the next agenda a discussion with us on procurement policies on our accounts and how we choose to handle them?
Sure. That'll be a constitutional question, I believe. All right. Let's move on. Item 14, executive session. 14.1, legal matter and personnel matter discussion on county email management. 14.2, employment matter, employee matter, Department of One. Do we have a motion to enter into executive session? We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second to enter into executive session. All in